Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We're playing in the Harbinger League as a solo self-found Dark Pact Necromancer, and today gotta run the Bazaar map unless the Vaal orb changes it. We have more rare monsters with Nemesis mods. We are suffering from elemental equilibrium, which doesn't affect us. Cursed with vulnerability, so I'll have to make sure I will keep my Stipnight Flask of Warding up when relevant. Monsters deal 95% extra damage is cold, so it's gonna get a little chilly, and my AoE is reduced by 25%. I'm boosting it quite a bit in different places, so the impact from that I think will be manageable. So all in all, if we keep this, we get 34% pack size, which is quite nice. But let's see, what does the Vaal Orb of Science do? And it becomes something completely different. In terms of mods, quantity and pack size are pretty ridiculous now. We get temp change, that's gonna be interesting. -11 max resists, that's gonna be painful. Monsters have nearly 400% increased crit chance and 43% crit multiplier. 108% extra damage as fire effectively ensures that monsters are gonna be... Every fourth hit is gonna set me on fire from the crit. They chain twice, they have a chance to avoid poison, blind and bleed. That's not relevant here, so that's just a freebie. Inhabited by ghosts. Okay. Well, I guess there's enough variations of ghosts that that's gonna matter. So I suspect we should prepare for all kinds of ranged shenanigans, no flicker striking, spectral blades, things like that. On top of that, my armor and block chance are reduced, so even when bone offering kicks in, I'm gonna be benefiting that only at a 60% effectiveness. I guess this is a worthy challenge. Can't say I'm skimping on this one for a de-unlock. So let's try and do this.
Greed is the only god here.
So we get the ship graveyard from Act 1, those ghosts. Those are from Act 5. From the mausoleum and such, that area. Now, of course, the map itself gives us statues. That's always going to be here, no matter what the population is going to be. As long as I keep my Stipnight Flask up and kill enough things to replenish the chargers, we're going to be alright. Okay, and let me get out of there, because I've got minions for tanking. I should not be doing that myself. Wait. I said I should not be tanking myself, so maybe I shouldn't be. Here, have yourself a decoy totem. Okay, there's a lot of statues. Here. Be distracted, pretty please. And then be killed. Okay, wonderful. And we're actually seeing some ghosts again instead of only statues. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's getting a little too intense for my liking. They have quite some range, those ghosts. Didn't I mention chaining? Yeah, okay, there's chaining. So if there's a trail of skellies leading back to me, then of course I will get hit, even if I'm physically far enough away to not get hit. If I remember correctly, the boss of the Bazaar is the architect who will summon additional bosses during the fight. Now we get things like Marseilles the Defaced and things like that. Which, come to think of it, with chaining is going to be even more glorious than it usually is. So, if slow and steady wasn't already the way I tended to play, then the temp change definitely is going to reinforce that. Okay. And there we go. Trying to do an outline of the outside of the map first, so we can just fill in the blanks of where we haven't been yet, and get away from me with that blade vortex. You silly goose. Wonderful. So first map after doing the endgame lab, so we get a small damage bonus out of that, and all of the skeletons that die, they do leave behind a caustic cloud, which damages the enemies enough. So that way, well, even if I can't even get a Dark Pact off, then the endless waves of skeletons are a very slow going but possibly viable strategy for dealing with enemies. Okay. Let's run. Okay, woke up enough things, and we can just unleash the AoE. That's one of the upsides, of course, of an AoE build. It doesn't really matter whether you're fighting 5 or 50 enemies. As long as they are not murdering your minions, then you're actually more efficiently killing large groups than smaller groups. Okay, let's fill in the blanks a little bit here. Just so, because it's such a small bit. Actually, I just mid-map just changing my strategy a little bit, and just gonna go back and just paint the exploration of the map, so we just push the unexplored front forward. So then that way, when we do reach the end, we don't have to, after that, go back. Hey, was that my conquer fact? That's now 20. Nice. Malformation. I need to run that one multiple times. So I still need an excavation map to drop, which is the tier 11 that's attached to the malformation. Because the Bazaar is not located in the bottom right. I believe it's in the top right, tier 11. But no, so far my strategy is still to clear the entire map. Or the entire atlas, I should say. So this is going to be map number 78, I think, that is going to get cleared for the bonus. If all goes according to plan, of course. Ooh, hello Harbingers. Here, have yourself a decoy totem, have yourself some skellies, and be butted. So far all the tier 1 through 10 maps are done. So it's the red maps are the only ones that still need to be unlocked. I think we will need a decoy totem in there just to... Whoa. That got a little too intense for my liking. Harbinger packs have that effect though. They get very intense very quickly. Because the relatively high concentration of rare mobs. Well, the potentially high concentration of rare mobs. Not always the case, but... Okay, you're coming from that side. It's currently difficult seeing the actual monsters through the raging spirits. And there we are, with the boss pack again. Here, have yourself a distraction. Wonderful, then I can shoot. I find that when I underestimate a Harbinger pack, that it really does not bode well. Or if I just unexpectedly run into one and then make the poor choice of standing and fighting rather than taking a couple steps back, that's usually when death comes in. Or as I mentioned in the previous video, a Harbinger pack in a boss room of say a malformation map, that's not a good thing either. Because Harbingers, at least I really want some space to maneuver, because it's not always possible to stand and fight, and yeah, when you can't get out, especially with a list of interesting map mods like this, because we have 64 fire res and we do get extra fire damage and things like that. So yeah, it's effectively a boss fight without being a boss fight in terms of challenge. Ooh. And I think we've caught up mostly with the unexplored front. So we can push back to the middle again. I'm sticking to an edge just to see what the layout is, and then after that backtracking a little bit to paint things in. It does make it feel like you're backtracking less, rather than going all the way to the boss and then having to clear like another 50% of the map or so. Which, yeah, doesn't really feel that good. A bunch of ghosts. They are difficult to see, some of them. Oh. Okay, let's just set up a bit of a killing pit there. Draw them all in. And of course, then they decide that's not good enough anymore for them. Okay, definitely noticing I forget to keep hitting these tip knights. So I'm affected by vulnerability much more than I should be. Even though I picked it because it is so easy to recharge it. Especially this one, because I do get 37% increased charges. So in effect I only need to recharge like 7 or so charges. And then I get the rest for free. For each sip, that is. Okay. Okay. Exit is inside. Wonderful. Cool, so we'll approach that one from the other side then. Now we'll do the boss fight last. I guess in terms of chaining, I'm doing the same thing as the enemies are. So I can't really complain too much about it. Except to acknowledge that it is pretty darn potent. Okay, and there we are. 50 plus mobs remain, that means it's probably going to be pretty action packed in the next couple rooms. Or the boss room might be a little more crowded than I would prefer it to be. Harbinger in the boss room would of course be the ultimate punishment, but looks like there's a Harbinger here. So I'll play it in full on, very cautious artillery mode, works rather well. Oh, coming from the flanks there. Ah, I have spotted the Harbinger. He might have spotted me. Yeah. Let's not be where they are. Got some very glitzy, glamorous, fast-moving enemies here. And, of course, I don't think I've actually drank my Stipknife flask again. Oh, there's this interesting thing between consciously knowing you should do something and then in the heat of the moment just completely relying on muscle memory instead of on what you need to do. So then you do end up missing some moves, and you just need to focus consciously on it and try to consciously use it to get it in your system, so when things really do get heated up, then you'll use them automatically. Okay, 50 mobs remain, and from what I can tell, the map itself has been fully revealed. I mean, I don't think we left monsters anywhere, so this is gonna be glorious. Very glorious indeed. Okay, so let's just power up and go in. Clear the outer rooms first, then we'll head to the center. Try and deal with as many of the add-ons as possible so they don't stream in during the fight, but yeah, with the minions might not be possible. Okay. 22, 23, 17. It gets better. 14 monsters. Oop. Okay, just keep stun locking the statues, works rather well. Sculpted tools, that's a loot crate. 2 mobs. That's gonna be a bonus, I think. Yep, and there's a ghost. Okay, ghost on the boss. You know what? We have an issue. Ghost possessed ancient sculptor. Glorious. So that's yeah, this is gonna be a very good test. So actually it's a good thing that we did have all those add-ons. Will help a little bit with the offerings. Okay, Marseilles behind me. Go. Let's see if we can face him. Okay, that is doable. Shipyard, thank you for upgrading my mapping pool. And come on, leave me be. Leave me be. Okay, come at me, bro. Sorry. Try to be a little bit more respectful. Pee-wee punishes instantly. Ah, yeah, okay. Halfway down. Good opportunity to empty my pockets here. Oh, you know what, we'll just put it in the stash and then deal with it later. Okay, gonna Need this. Don't think I actually used my Army of the Damned yet, so yeah. Let's say that was a misplay as well. Oh. Some channeling, warmed up. Boom. Goddess of Purity, yep, that's another statue. Oh, Sculptor. He's really fast. That definitely does not mesh well with my speed. But we did get him. Oh, we still have the Goddess to deal with. Upside, of course, of all of these uniques here is I think they all... Ooh, wonderful. Love the drops here. But as I said, they all have a good chance of dropping uniques. Or both uniques and maps. So there's that. But we got a Chimeria's Mole. What's it do? Reduce enemy stun duration. No threshold. Increase damage. Cold damage. Crit chance. Increase rarity of items dropped by frozen enemies and increase cold damage with attack skills. And 1000 Thief Timu. Yes, for a reflect build. Movement speed, evasion rating, decent block chance, life, physical attack damage leeches life, a bonus block, reflects 1 to 1000 physical damage to attackers on block, and 10% of damage you reflect to enemies is gained as life. So if you on average a reflect is gonna be 500 damage from this one alone, on the block of course. So then 10% of that you get back. So that's now 50 life per block, on average. I don't know, I've always been thinking of maybe doing something with all of the reflection items like the 1000 Thief Timu. But it also seems like now the further we get, the less item support there are for that playstyle, so that does not help. So we cleared the Bazaar, which is top left, over there. So slow and steady progress. But with that, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.